Hi, hello and welcome. Welcome back to another Onkruid video. Welcome to a little video about a short article I discovered, or well, not really discovered, I got handed to me by Colin Wright's Curiosity Weekly newsletter. Do you remember sitting in class next to one of your friends, one of your best friends, and they grab their pen or their pencil and they start doodling, scrabbling into your book? Often drawings of things that are not really supposed to be in textbooks, and sometimes even like entire wars probably started raging on your desk. Just constant retaliation of little doodles in each other's books. Well, it turns out that even centuries ago, people were already doing this, mostly in their own books though. There's a new device in the Bodleian Library in Oxford, which allows researchers, mostly Jessica Hodgkinson, who's working on it right now, to take a closer look at etchings on pages of old books. That's how in an 8th century book, a copy of the Act of Apostles from the Christian New Testament, they found a seemingly cross etching followed by Edberg, which they assume is the owner of the book. The owner was supposed to be a woman, so they think that it was a nun with the name Edberg, and some random letters behind them, which kind of resemble Old English words for bear prison. Now, the passage this is written below is something about apostles being imprisoned as well, so they think that the nun might be relating the story to her own life experiences. More interesting though are the little figures they discovered as well. Keep in mind, an 8th century book, literally something like 1200 years ago, and people were already doodling in books, and the figures look so innocent, they look so cartoonish, they look fun. They think that the one in the top left resembles a nun, and I can definitely kind of see it. And interestingly, in the bottom right, they think that it resembles someone giving someone else the talk to the hand because the face is not listening treatment. The device used to detect all these hidden etchings in the pages consists of 2 sets of machines. The first one is called Selene, which has cameras capable of capturing differences in surface relief down to like really the smallest changes, completely invisible to the human eye. Also the Lucida, the other machine, which deploys lasers and tiny cameras as well to create a 3D scan of the page they are trying to look at. It's not just the Edberg book that has been discovered to have some secret writings in the margins. There's also this 9th century manuscript in which they discovered a little hunting scene. Very beautifully drawn as well. Now, why people would scratch their names into the books, it's a little bit clear to the researchers. It's probably just because they wanted to really make sure that it was clear that it was their book. They wanted to explicitly state, hey, I'm the owner of this work. And of course, you don't want to write your name on top of the religious texts, or any text for that matter, so you etch it in the margin. And for the doodles, well, interestingly enough, it's exactly what modern readers advise you to do if you really want to understand the text. Use different modalities. Write in the margins of your book. Kind of have a discussion with the author, some people even advise. That's a form of active note-taking that really makes you remember the contents of the book, and doodling is a part of them. Undoubtedly, that hunting scene is also just related to the text, so it's just to help somebody remember what was going on probably. Not only books are capable of being taken under the loop. No, we can also look at, for example, copper printing plates, which was done exactly with this copper printing plate right here. At the front, it depicts a person and a little scene, a giant artwork. It's very beautiful, very clearly visible to the human eye. But on the back, almost not visible to the human eye, there are music notes, musical staves. And if we really use all the technology to its fullest extent, we can literally see every single note and the text written below it. And that's very interesting because it adds a lot of value to the plate. You discover completely new things that were not previously known. And I think that's one of the most beautiful parts of this whole story. It's just persons, owners, or whoever adding value to sources and adding things that we previously had not seen. That drawing of the hunting scene, for example, is such a beautiful addition to an otherwise plain text. It adds a bit of life, a bit of vitality, a bit of personality and identity to very old works. And just as with the Japanese artwork here, where you can see intricate patterns being carved into the wood that you would otherwise not be able to see with the naked eye, it also increases your appreciation for some of the works. It's a labor of love. You don't even see it clearly, but they still put so much effort into it to make it as perfect as possible, using every single tool that they had available. Not just the colors, not just the etching, but they tried to make some relief in there as well. things you wouldn't notice without this new technology. This new relief information is really able to transform our knowledge about ancient sources. It allows us to rediscover a bunch of things we thought we already discovered to their fullest extent. As a final interesting example, there is this very old map of the British Isles dated back to the 14th century, and they thought it was one of the first ones, but interestingly, they noticed little holes for little pins in the map, which they only noticed because of the technology. And then they thought, okay, this is an old map, and they used it to copy it onto other maps. They put another map below this, and they pricked little pins through both maps to kind of have the locations overlap exactly. In fact, it's the other way around. They noticed because of the depthness of the holes in this map that they thought to be one of the precursors to all other maps of the British Isles, the holes in this map were not that thick, or not that deep rather, so there was another map laid on top of this, and this is actually already a copy. So that's also something that can help with this new technology. It can kind of clear up some mistakes in historians' work. Interesting stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.